Welcome back to 10 Tenths Podcast. I'm your host, Robert Brown. Across from me is my co-host, Adam Nielsen. And on Zoom, we have Dusty.
Are you sure it's working, Robbie?
I have no fucking idea.
Are you sure it's working, Robbie?
No, I'm like...
I can't wait to record this again later.
Yes, I'm glancing over. I was like...
It's going to be another lost episode.
No, it's recording on the computer at least.
That'd be so bad.
No. It's... This mic feeds into the OBS, so yeah, he's recording.
Josh's.
Oh, that's right.
Zoom records it,
yeah.
OBS records it, and this records it. So I technically have three options. This one's just the easiest to...
Okay. So it won't be a lost episode.
It should not be a lost episode.
We have a
Plus,
few.
Josh's episode was last week, so that would have been the one to get lost.
That's true. That's true.
We made it through that.
That is our MO.
Yep.
Losing him.
Next time we have...
Yeah, there's always next time.
Yep.
So, what'd you guys do?
Nothing.
No? Nothing?
It's been a pretty boring couple of weeks.
Just hanging out.
That's a podcast. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll go fishing or something.
Hell yeah, bro. I'd rather be rodcasting.
I'm so tired.
Don't judge me, Robbie. It's fine. I was legit distraught this morning.
Because you lost your fishing pole?
I didn't lose it. I forgot it at home.
Isn't this your bringing with you collapsible one that you always bring with you?
No, I broke that one. That was the one that I broke a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And so I've just been fishing with my fancy one in my truck. So I bring my 6'8" long fishing pole in my work truck every day. And
it's a good thing. It's a good thing you got that giant box on the back.
No, I put it in the back seat. It fits diagonally and kitty corner. So if I put the tip of it in the passenger side and the top of the cab, it fits just in there on the front right behind my seat. It fits.
That can't be a coincidence.
No.
Well, if I was 6 inches taller, it wouldn't fit there.
It's fine.
Because I'd have to slide my seat back.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fit then.
Oh.
So it's good I'm short.
Well, luckily now you got this new...
Or I could just turn it around and put it on the passenger side.
Right.
There's never anybody in the truck with me, so it's fine. But yeah, now I bought another collapsible one because it was kind of annoying taking that big one to work.
Yeah, but then you broke it immediately.
Well, it's because that is literally unfishable fishing string. The string that comes with it, unfishable.
He went on this long tangent about how...
I still stand behind it. If you put different string on it, it's fine.
He's like, I got these three reels with three different...
Now I can have 3 reels with 3 different lines on them.
So this is like having a set of reins, a set of 200s, and a set of slicks.
Yeah.
Got it.
Except that real fishermen don't swap rods or don't swap reels on one rod. They'll have...
They 10 rods.
They have 10 rods and reels with all the shit, and I'm like, nah, bro, not that. I'm not at that point.
You're literally 3 weeks away from that.
Well, they're also hanging that on their $167,000 3/4 ton truck. They're pulling their $152,000 boat with.
I don't remember what I was watching, but it was some Facebook reel, I think, and they were giving away a bass boat. And they said it was an $80,000 bass boat.
Oh, so it's entry level.
I bet it was an aluminum hull, wasn't it?
What the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah, that's what they all cost.
That's crazy.
It's got a $36,000 motor hanging off the back of it, so that's step one.
I mean, I've literally never looked because I don't care.
Dude, they're crazy.
Because I have no interest.
Boats in general are fucking crazy.
But
yeah. I thought of an idea, and then I went to the Ozarks, and it's I had no fucking idea. Everybody has a $100,000 boat down there.
Now I want to look it up just to see what boats cost, because now... So remember a million years ago before we lost Michael Beck, R.I.P., and we talked about how we didn't understand how, there's a person who has a giant house that they shouldn't be able to afford.
Yep.
And there's 2 brand new cars in the garage that they shouldn't be able to afford because they cost $60,000 and $100,000 respectively. And it's what I never added into that equation is that there's also a fucking boat behind the garage, and it probably also costs $100,000.
Yeah,
and it's parked in front of a shop that it cost them $100,000 to build.
And then they use that boat twice a year.
How else are you going to catch the fishes?
That's the other thing I don't understand. People who own campers and boats and stuff like that and use them twice a year. How do you justify that?
Jess and I have had that conversation at length about getting like an RV or something
that you could use to pull to the trailer and stuff like that.
And even then, after all the conversations, it always ends with, we'll just get a hotel if it gets to that point. Fuck it.
I would love to have an RV.
Yeah.
I'd probably use it once or twice a month through the summer.
Yeah,
I could
sure.
probably get like 6 to 7 months a year of usage, 1 or 2 weekends a month out of it.
Yeah.
But that's still kind of hard to justify.
And that's where we were. I was like, even if I use it twice a month from April through October, I still didn't think it was worth it.
You got to buy a pretty cheap one for it. And then that has its own special set of problems.
Yeah.
See, and then your time with the RV is going to be spent working on the RV. It's not going to be spent enjoying the RV.
Right. I'm going to spend 1 to 2 weekends a month mad at the RV because it's broken.
Yeah.
My mom,
you have all the problems of a house and a car.
Firmly believes that RV stands for ruins vacations.
She's not wrong.
She, like, of all the things that my dad has purchased and all of the things that we did when I was younger and all of that stuff, the RV that we had is by a huge margin the biggest thorn in my mom's side. That is the thing she hated by a huge margin the most.
So she'll be the one to say the best day, or the two best days of owning an RV are the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
I don't think that the day we bought it was the best day.
She wasn't pumped about that.
I don't think she was.
Never.
No.
And
we used the snot out of it.
Oh,
like we used it all.
Yeah,
I mean, we went drag racing 2 or 3 times a month, and we also traveled with it to drag strips that were kind of far away. I mean, we had ours at Topeka once or twice. Yeah. The one weekend that we were at Topeka, my mom lists as one of the worst weekends of her life.
Is there anything specific or just...
So that weekend, it's a well-known and documented...
Gridlife first round? Was that
I wish we would have got that far. It's a well-known and documented fact that any time that a Nielsen is at Topeka, weather will be shitty.
Yep.
So every time we've gone, it's rained and been insane, and then
or been 37 degrees,
or both.
Yep, that too.
Or when I went with my dad to the Top Fuel race here a couple weeks ago or a month ago, whatever it was, it was dry, but it was 120 degrees or whatever. I mean, it was miserable.
Yeah.
But that particular weekend, we were parked somewhere in a grassy area. I'm not sure. I feel like we were in the lower paddock area, but I feel like it wasn't paved as much as it is now. Or maybe we were on the other side. Farther down the track, down the drag strip, but we were in a grassy area.
Okay.
We were there for a divisional weekend. And so there was junior dragsters from all over the Midwest. And so they put us all together in this big grassy area, right? And it legit rained 6 to 8 inches of rain an hour for 2 or 3 hours straight. And then rained at a more reasonable pace for most of one of those days. And it was that RV that we had been rock solid as far as being dry inside the whole time. But that amount of rain just was too much.
It found the seams and the holes.
And so it leaked. And my dad and I remember we went to whatever the local Tractor Supply style store was and bought these giant tarps and tried to tarp the roof of the thing down while it's just fucking pouring so hard you can't see the person on the front of the RV if you're on the back of it. I mean, it was insane, the amount of water that came out of the sky that day. And I made one time trials pass and ran a 17 or something like that, when normally I run 12s because the motor just wasn't running.
Yep.
I don't know if we got water in the fuel or what happened. I mean, and then we went into eliminations, and I made one pass and I got out right away. I don't know if I probably red lit or I don't fucking know. I was nowhere close to my time because we didn't know what the car was going to run. And then I think we could buy back in, and I don't know if I I feel like we did, and I immediately lost then too, and like that was it. I made like 3 runs the entire weekend, and we were and my sister made the same, and we were just miserable the whole time. And then when we went to leave, the RV was stuck. Like stuck. And so we had to drop the trailer, and then a tractor came, like a big tractor, not like a tractor they had there, like a big tractor had to come and pull us out and then go back and get our trailer and pull that out so we could hook it up to the RV and leave. I mean, it was just chaos. It was the worst.
So they didn't want us to park on the grass at all this weekend. And
I can tell you why.
And it didn't rain that much.
I can tell you why.
Yeah,
because I remember like
there was some very wet spots. I found a few fairly deep spots just roaming around the outer edge of the track, and those aren't even low spots.
Well, that corner of the lower paddock where we always tend to be.
Yep.
I mean, there's water coming out of that hill for days.
Yep.
After it rains.
Yeah, it all of Friday into Saturday, it was still kind of emptying out of that drain pipe.
Right. I mean, it just never stops. I don't know where it comes from. It just never stops coming out of that hill.
It's all tiled and goes to like that one spot.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know, man. It's miserable though. So yeah, it was. I mean, and then almost every other time I've ever been there for TT National Tour, we had a ton of rain that one night. Yep. The first year of Gridlife, we had that crazy windstorm that came out of fucking nowhere.
Yep.
I think last year was okay. I don't think
it was colder than fuck.
It was cold, wasn't it? It was cold.
We stood around like because Adam Pacetta went to the store and bought one of those like burner stove things. And we all stood around it like a bunch of homeless people around a trash can.
Is this the third or fourth year?
This is the third.
This is the third year. Okay,
Pretty sure.
Yeah, last year it was cold as fuck. You're right.
Yeah, I don't think there was a good year.
We went to Drag Week there. I don't know, 10 years ago. My dad and I. And when we were leaving, we had to pull off the road. We were in my dad's first gen S10, regular cab S10 that he had at the time. And we had to pull off the road because we couldn't see 10 foot in front of the car because it was raining that hard. And I'm looking at the radar, and they're talking about tornadoes and all this shit. And I was like, Dad, this shit's going right over us. And the S10 was like rocking back and forth. And we genuinely thought it was going to push us into the ditch. And we were, of course, we were at the top of like this giant 15-foot tall embankment.
Of course.
So if we do go in the ditch, we're rolling down. And I'm like, I'm going to die here. I'm going to die in this first gen S10.
Yeah.
I mean, odds were reasonable that would be how you would go.
That's fair.
In some kind of S10.
That's fair. In Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah.
It had to be Topeka, Kansas. So yeah, my history with Topeka has not been great, which did not help my desire to show up this weekend.
Yeah, you did. By you not showing up, it did keep the rains away. So
I promise you, if I'd have been there Saturday, it would have rained. I promise you.
They predicted it, and then it left. And so, like the more obvious it became that you weren't showing up, the clearer the skies became.
Yeah, the clouds just started moving out. Like every time we sent a message in the chat asking where Adam was, they would just get a little bit further apart.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We're sitting there like 8 o'clock Saturday night. I turned to the group. I'm like, starting to think Adam's not coming.
I mean, I had every intention of coming. I showed up at my parents' house Friday night. So after we recorded last week with Josh,
yep,
I left here and went straight to work Wednesday night and didn't go home until almost like it was like 1:36 when I rolled in my front door Thursday afternoon, 1:36 p.m.
Ugh.
And at that point, I was like, well, if I go to sleep now and I sleep, I'm gonna wake up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and just be ready to go. And so I slept for like 2 or 3 hours and then got up for the rest of the day. And so Friday, I felt good and proper garbage. And Friday night, my daughter slept like 2 hours because she doesn't sleep very well when she's not at home.
But Adam, kids don't change anything.
Kids don't change anything,
okay.
though, Robbie. It's fine.
Except your sleep schedule? Okay.
What sleep schedule? I wish that my daughter was the primary reason my sleep schedule is fucked. But she certainly doesn't help.
No.
And so I got up Saturday morning at 6 a.m. because that's when my daughter decided I needed to get up after sleeping for maybe 2 hours. And I was like, I don't know about this. And like, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving this house. So I stayed at my dad's house and helped him with winterizing the Tempest and putting it away and stuff like that. I just
bailed on your friends.
Sometimes you got to be a good son instead.
Yep.
Fine.
I just had a nice little RC car just sitting there warmed up and waiting.
I know.
He went back to get the batteries for that because he had drove half an hour down the road, realized he'd forgotten them, and went all the way back.
Well, I don't know if you know this or not, Robbie, but you can have fun without me. In fact, I encourage it.
Wasn't going to be the same.
No,
you can let somebody else wreck Dusty's expensive RC
no one
cars.
even drove it.
Well, that's Dusty's fault. Then.
No one even drove
That's
it.
Dusty's fault, not mine. I assure you,
it had a sign on it that specifically said "Reserved for Adam."
I promise you,
Reserved for Adam.
if you would have pulled that out and handed the controller to Jason, he would have bought 4 of them on Monday. I promise you that.
He already owns several.
Of course he does.
Yep. He was like, yeah, I got the unlimited desert racer. I was like, yeah, that's like one of the biggest, craziest, most complicated, expensive ones. That fits. Yeah.
It's the McLaren of RC cars.
It is the McLaren of RC cars. That is correct.
Because he was listing off all the parts he replaced with better, more expensive parts that he had broken.
That's yeah.
That one has like 137 bearings inside it and 2 planetary gear sets, and there's all kinds of it is the McLaren of RC cars. That's an apt description.
My son still plays with that one we have quite a bit, but he's like very mechanically sympathetic, and so he never breaks anything on it. And this is not me complaining, don't get it wrong,
Right.
but there are parts that I bought preemptively knowing that the ones that are on there would get broken.
Yep.
And he never breaks them.
Huh.
And I'm not going to swap out good parts for
No, you wait till they break.
other parts, right? Like I have nicer control arms. They haven't broke yet. Don't bother. So, yeah.
Just got to use it more.
He uses it pretty regularly. So,
Sounds like you just need to drive it more.
I don't drive it all that often. I let him do it most of the time.
Huck it off of things and get real obnoxious with it.
Yeah.
Just flip it all the way down the paddock.
Mine
like
isn't
a
fast enough to do that. Mine is not as fast as Dusty's.
I still can't believe how far that thing goes. It just kept going.
I swear to God, it accelerated while rolling.
It did. It went like 50 feet.
I crashed it and then it went faster. Like I know people talk about like, I swear my car went faster when I hit the brakes in the grass. Yeah, I bet it did.
Yeah.
I get it, man. That one time at Heartland Park, I get it, man.
The thing I always tell people with the bigger trucks is like, you don't realize how fast it's going until you don't have control of it anymore. And then it becomes apparent like, whoa, that thing was moving.
Yeah. And the rate of acceleration is crazy too.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you're not in the vehicle, so you don't really have any concept of its speed, that's hard.
Yeah. And then that's why he goes right into the side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have like, there's a mode that slows it down, but I don't ever do that for people. Like I just hand them the radio. Yep.
I used to use that with my kid, but he's old enough now he can just use it.
They only do it at the go-kart track when I pay full price.
I drove by our go-kart track today.
Is it still open?
Yeah.
I haven't been back over there forever.
Yeah. And I was thinking I should bring my son.
Oh, yeah.
So like one of these days, sometime I might hit you up and we're going to go to the go-kart track.
That'd be enough to get me to go back. That would do it.
Just been a while.
Yeah, I'd do it for that.
Yeah. So
I haven't raced against a bunch of 9-year-olds in a while.
you going to crash into my kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
This is GLTC.
We play for keeps up in this bitch.
Robbie's going to be a tryhard.
just like me and HPD.
How'd your weekend go, Robbie?
Good.
Yeah?
Uneventful.
Yeah? Like, almost annoyingly so?
I'm actually kind of fucking mad.
That it went so flawlessly?
Yeah.
Because it was just an HPD?
Yeah. So, so we headed down Friday after, what time did we get off work? Did I take off work Friday? I don't fucking remember. Yes.
Part-timer.
Took a half day. I took a half day Friday and then took off and then met up with the Kanakari and his crew at...
was that on purpose, or I thought you just randomly ran into him down the highway?
No, we kind of planned it because otherwise I would have left earlier, actually.
Oh, okay.
So he was going to be in... I can't think of the town's name. Starts with a G. Just outside of Kansas City. Whatever, who cares?
It's a town.
It's a town. It's just outside of Kansas City on I-35.
You can pull up your Google Maps and try and find it if you want.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But basically, they put us there right at 3:30, and we would meet them there. So then Jess and I took off, and then we get about halfway down the gravel road. Of course, it's raining here. It's real shit, and the roads are just proper shit.
Yeah.
So my truck and trailer are filthy.
Right.
There was like 4 inches of just white bunk built up on each side of the front of his trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably peel it off.
Yeah, it was thick.
Yeah, yeah.
I started to go over and kind of like hit up in the middle and see if they would both just fall off at the same time.
That would have been nice. But we get about halfway down the road, and I'm kind of like dodging the nasty stuff, and Jess goes, I forgot my jacket.
This is why you don't bring women to the races.
Are you kidding me? So I got to go drive all the way back down the gravel. So truck was properly dirty.
Girls.
Properly
the
dirty.
worst, Robbie.
And of course, we're running late already.
Can't live with them. That's it.
Yep. So then, so Jason and his crew had to wait for us. So we met them there. Then, of course, I needed to get gas.
Did you eat somewhere fancy?
No.
No?
No, just gas station. We went on the way down.
I thought maybe you'd eat somewhere fancy with Jason.
No, not this time. Next time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next time I see Jason, we'll be eating fancy food.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. So he's all loaded up. They've been waiting, so they're ready to go. I get gas, pull around, bathroom breaks or whatever, and then we're kind of saying our pleasantries, and then just kind of the plan on following them. And as they're pulling out, I kind of like walk back, and I'm looking back, and I'm like, that tire looks like shit. I'm looking at my trailer. I was like, well, we only got an hour and a half to go, so fuck it.
Risk it for the biscuit.
It's like, I'm not going to make them wait. So, and I got a spare. So we
what do you mean define looks like shit? Like, was it just low?
At this angle, it looked like it was... Like, from where I saw it, it looked like the outside edge of the front on the passenger side looked like it had worn smooth. Almost to the cords. I say it looked almost to the cords because at that angle, it looked almost to the cords. When I got to Topeka, it was properly corded all the way around.
Noise.
Like a 2-inch wide section of cord.
It's fine. He's got three other tires.
Which is really, really fucking annoying because the other ones look okay.
Yeah.
Like normal, right? Total normal wear.
Our trailers at work, that's how it goes.
Just one turns to shit.
You'll have one that just like, I swear to God, overnight, it just became a shitty tire. Yeah. And the other three look fine, but there's just one, and it's toast.
Yeah.
And it's usually the front axle.
Yeah. Which would, from turning, I would imagine. But like, I'm driving back from RPM the weekend before. I'm kind of thinking, I didn't replace I replaced the tires on the trailer right before I sold it, and then got this one. Right. So I was like, let's assume that these tires are probably on year 5.
Right.
So let's just assume I'll have to replace them next year. But I didn't even look at them, because I don't know the date codes. Didn't look. I was like, I'm betting next year's the year.
Living dangerously, right?
Yeah. I knew it was going to be next year, no matter what. But
yeah.
I was trying to think if I needed to do it sooner, like earlier this year, and didn't. They seem fine until they didn't seem fine.
Are you done for the year?
Yeah.
No more?
No more.
Unless you have the surprise random. Unless Jason talks you into another one.
He's already talked me into something else, and that does not involve a truck, trailer, or car.
Yeah, but he's been also trying to talk you into another.
I can't do both.
Track
it's not an option. Well, that track day wouldn't include my car either.
It didn't?
No. That would be his cars.
Oh, that's right.
If Jason wants to bring me to things,
he wants you to drive the
my car is in off-season mode, which means it's going to be taken apart.
For what?
I got to fix everything.
What?
Everything's broken, Adam.
You fixed all of it, right?
No, it's all
You've
broken.
been doing
Everything's
nothing
broken.
but fixing on that fucking thing.
Which is now it's time to pull it all apart.
But it just ran a full weekend without any problems.
2 full weekends.
So don't. If it's not broken, don't fix it, Robbie.
You got to improve it. You got to make it faster.
What are you going to do?
Now it's time to change everything up.
Yeah, you got to make it fast.
What are you going to do?
I don't know yet. Actually, the list of things to fix are pretty, like, there's nothing to fix. It's like, I got a new seat, a new seat bracket. I was looking at it. I don't like where my feet pedals are relative to where the floor pan is. So they sell like a plate that kind of moves your feet up.
Yeah.
And like levels all that off.
Right.
So I'm going to get that.
Just put a pedal box in and be done with it.
No.
Right, Dusty?
Well, I was talking, like, I was asking Dusty, I was like, I feel like I kept missing my heel toes because, like, granted, I've had bad habits because of the fucking auto blip, but, like, I felt like I kept missing it. And then I'm, like, looking at my feet, looking at it, going, these pedals seem tall, like, taller than they should be because I'm on the fucking floor pan.
Yeah, and the floor pan, like, angles down toward the pedals, too. It's not, it's not a good angle.
So I'm going to fix that.
Sports car things, man.
Yep. So then, then I got
You'd think they'd have that figured out.
Sawbelt Taurus containment seat. So I got that. Jason picked that up for me. So, yeah. So I was messaging. There's a guy posted up on Track Midwest, and I messaged him and asked if it was available and, like, if he was going to Gridlife, because I knew he showed that he followed Gridlife.
Right.
And I go, any chance you go to Heartland? No, he's not. He's going to ask some friends to see if they were. None of them were. And I was like, well, how far are you from Detroit? Literally 15 minutes from Jason. So I text Jason, hey, what are you doing today? I know you're not very busy.
Well, yeah.
So
the more money you make, the less you work to get it.
Exactly.
He's just fucking loaded.
It just falls into your lap. It takes money to make money, and
I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, so he was available. He goes, if it happens today on Tuesday, he could do it because the rest of the Wednesday he's getting everything ready, and then Thursday and Friday he's taking off. So I messaged the guy. I was like, made him an offer because I don't pay asking price like Josh does, but I made him an offer and he accepted.
We forgot completely to give him hell about that last week.
We did.
It's fine.
So I made an offer, accepted it, paid him, and then had Jason text him, and then they met up after work or whatever. And then Jason calls me. He's like, funny story. I sold BMW parts to this guy. So, like, they've done this before. Right. So they knew where to meet.
The Gridlife world is not that big.
No, it's very small.
It's big, but it's not that big.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jason delivered my seat. I made it to the track without any hiccups on my trailer. But the first thing I did once we got there was
swap
that spare on.
Yeah.
Didn't even I unloaded the car and then I swapped the spare. But yeah, so Jason was riding down with Colton, and Colton's got the ACR Viper. So they have the open trailer with 2 of these supercars on it. Because, of course, you do to flex on the boars.
I mean, more people should tow with open trailers. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we're following them through Kansas City, and it's like so many fucking people see these cars and go, I'm just going to drive like an asshole. And they cut across lanes.
Yeah.
They whip out their phones to take pictures.
Yeah.
Stop paying attention to what's in front of them.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how
It's
many people
really not,
try
no.
to drive into these cars.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
So then we're going into a construction zone, and like these people are coming up, and there's clearly not a car's width between us because if anyone's hitting that bumper, it's going to be fucking me. So like we're driving, and I turned to Jess. I was like, if I hit that $300,000 McLaren, I get to fix my $350 bumper. She didn't like that logic.
She didn't think
at
that
all.
was funny at all. Weird.
But like people were trying to like squeeze in between us. I was like,
no.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Yes, they are.
Get to call your insurance company and be like, yeah, I hit a McLaren 720S. They'll drop you right there.
And whenever I hit the McLaren, it bumped into a Viper ACR and trashed the entire flat floor. And then that unhooked the trailer, which then hit the giant motorhome that was pulling it.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
here's your $1
the
million
Silverado
claim.
behind me crashed into me as well.
That would happen too, yes.
And my insurance adjuster said, we'll cover this one, and then you can go somewhere else.
It was unreal how bad people were driving.
It does not in any way, shape, or form surprise me.
No. Yes. Followed him down. Made sure that if anyone was going to hit that bumper, it was going to be me.
Yeah.
I didn't hit it, so we're good.
Good to know.
Yeah. Yep. But
What a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, his big RV pulling a double-decker open trailer with an ACR Viper and a McLaren 720S. It's quite the sight.
Yeah, it is.
People stop and just gawk.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yep. It was
I
wild.
was gawking at them all weekend, and they weren't even on the trailer.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, so we had a nice.
We're friends with them, and we gawk at them.
Yeah, we had a nice little paddock. ACR Viper, me, or Jason, then me. It's just like, man.
Well, and then Dalton
I'm
squeezed
poor.
in between just for
like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Jesus.
Yep, we'll get there.
Jesus.
But yeah, so we had a nice little paddock area with, 2 cars that had their doors go vertically. One was like a pour, but whatever. Actually,
Wow.
I posted on Instagram. I had a picture, like it was this picture here. So it's got the Viper, then the McLaren, then mine on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I just said, one of these things is not like the other. And literally every person that responded with had a response as to why the McLaren or the Viper was the one that was not the common denominator here. Well, yeah,
Nobody questioned the 350.
No, nobody. It was like, yeah, obviously the Viper's door's open to the like a poor person.
Poor person's.
And then the other one's like, yeah, clearly, like you got 2 imports on one piece of junk American car. like everyone just went that same direction.
Yeah, mine was dang domestic cars ruining good pictures.
Jesus. All right then.
But yes, so
that Viper is
so good.
It's real good.
Yeah,
It's real good.
He let me sit in it, and yeah, real good.
You gonna buy one?
No, I'm poor.
I mean, if you like just sold all the things,
Not an ACR.
bought a tiny little house,
Oh, yeah, that's been brought up.
and then bought an ACR, you could buy an ACR.
Yeah, no, because Jess and I have had that conversation. She's like, I've started to realize that, the people that can afford these things don't live in houses like ours. I was like, yeah, probably. She's like, so if we got, basically cut our mortgage in half, I was like, yeah, probably. But then we get rid of this, and I like this, so.
Yeah, where am I gonna fish?
Well, at a 7% interest rate, I can't buy a house, so it's not an option.
There
so
is
I was like, don't even think about it because it's not an option.
It's literally cheaper for you to stay in this.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the houses that you want would be the same mortgage as what you
As what
have
I'm
right
paying
now,
now.
because you bought this house multiple years ago. And now it's half the house is that same price. So
Yep.
I don't want to talk about it because I'm at a very different point. I'm in like a cheap run of the mill piece of shit starter house that I'm fucking stuck in. I'm probably gonna be in there for fucking 10 more years. At that point,
It'll be paid off.
At that point, I only have 10 years left to pay the fucking thing off, and we'll stay.
It's fine.
It's not big enough.
Happens.
That's the problem we're running into.
Yeah, Jess says we have too much room. I was like, that's not a problem.
I'll trade you.
Yeah, I was saying, like, no one ever goes, yeah, I wish I had less room.
I totally would, because more room just means more area you gotta clean.
No, you just close the door and keep the dogs out. It's fine.
Except you don't.
Nah, the two bedrooms upstairs keep the door closed. Otherwise, the big guest rooms would have dog hair in
How
them.
many rooms are upstairs?
3?
There's 3 up there?
Yeah, it's a 3-bedroom house.
So I thought that the dog was one of those rooms was the dog's, I thought.
No, because he always makes a mess in there, so we close that.
Oh. I thought Kyle was always in that other room.
He will be if we leave the door open.
Right. But I thought you always
We
did.
save that for when we have guests, so it's never open.
Okay. Who wants a 3-bedroom house that all 3 rooms are on the same level?
That could be a 4th bedroom right there.
Real rich people do not have the master bedroom on the same floor as their children's rooms.
Joke's on you. I don't have any kids, so
That's fair.
I have one gigantic room.
That's fair. The house.
The house is my room.
it's not called the master anymore.
My bad.
Yeah, it's 2023.
My bad.
All right, back to being on the rails. So the reason I was at Gridlife this weekend.
No,
What? No.
You know I got time for that,
No,
Riley?
you're right.
that's not why people listen to this.
So the reason I was at Gridlife this weekend is because E-Man bailed because he's a dirty drifter. Are we back off the rails? All right.
I mean, that's fair.
All right. So he first went on a long tangent about how kids don't change anything, and then asked me if I could buy his ticket. So,
because he doesn't have any cars.
He could make it work.
That's what he said. He didn't have any cars.
He's got like 8 cars.
Well, he doesn't have any that are trackable.
He could fix them.
Yeah, he said he didn't have a vehicle that he trusted to drive on track.
Yeah, but when has that stopped a drifter from driving on track?
Who truly trusts their car on track?
Especially drift cars.
Right.
I don't think I trust any car on that track.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Dusty has been quoted as saying, "I enjoy this track more behind the lens than the driving wheel."
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
We had a nice long conversation about it.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, so I was gonna do Super Grid with Jason, and then the
Jabay was like, "Nah, fuck you."
No endurance. And then like, all right, we're gonna do Super Grid sprints, and I was gonna buy a ticket, but I wanted to survive RPM first because I've had nothing but problems, and I didn't want to buy a ticket to just watch it just be a donation to Gridlife again.
Right.
So, as much as I want to help Gridlife,
yeah, I get it.
So that fell through because they didn't have enough interest. So they would have had at least one more, but is what it is. And then so I bought E-Man's ticket Monday after RPM, after the TT, and the car was in good condition. All it needed was an oil change before Gridlife, and good to go. And
full face value, I'm sure, right?
No, God, no. What am I, Josh? I don't pay face value.
Oh man!
No, I got the friend discount.
He had to Tommy him down. He didn't. He used to be called Josh.
That's fair. Tommy's when you've gone real extreme. You've talked him down to below half of asking price.
No, he's offered it to me and I took it. So
all right, fair enough.
So I was an intermediate. So I roll up and immediately Jeremy Weston goes, "What are you doing?" Intermediate.
What was Jeremy in?
I think he was in Time Attack with the Corvette.
Oh, that's
his
right.
wife
the Paragon Corvette was there.
His wife was an intermediate with her brand new Porsche.
Okay, yeah, that makes
but
sense.
So he's up there, get them and lined up and whatever, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Intermediate." See, I don't know what I'm doing.
So it's like
I sort of know what I'm doing. You're good enough not to be a beginner, but like advanced is a wheel to wheel race. So,
but we did 2 combined sessions, and yeah, you're right.
So yeah, intermediate when he first rolls up there, it's like 4 bone stock cars with just the little Gridlife number plate on them and a GLTC car.
I went to the front.
Weird.
Yeah.
Were you the fastest? Did you win the HPD?
I won my HPD session.
Nice.
Then when they combined us with the advanced group, there was a Subaru that had much faster straight line speed than me. And then there was I have no idea what Camaro. It was a red Camaro. Maroon Camaro. He also had...
But not a brown one.
It might have been brown.
Oh, okay.
Depending on the light. Yeah.
Similar pace to me.
Okay.
So, like, we all kind of lined up.
He makes twice the horsepower, but fine.
Yeah,
similar pace.
So we lined up at... in the advanced session. I didn't know where I was going to be in the advanced session, so I was like, whatever. So, but Pacetto put me right in the front. I was like, we got other cars, man. This isn't the intermediate anymore. We're combined now. But so we took off, and then it was us 3 just kind of like literally battling, controlled. Like there was actually point by still. Like if someone made a mistake, you gave the point by.
Right.
But yeah, but it was bumper to bumper for like a lot. So we go over Alpha and we go into 1, and the Subaru just loops it, right?
Yeah.
And just the Camaro's right behind me. I don't know where to go. And he's dead fucking center.
Oh God!
Through 1.
Robbie's like, here we go.
So he has to choose: do I continue rolling backwards or stop and go forwards? And I'm watching him roll backwards. So I'm like, well, I have to go fucking right. So I go right, and immediately the Camaro goes left. So we just split him. It was fucking sketchy.
Oof.
No damage, no problem. I think I dipped probably 2 wheels off on the outside of W2, and then the Camaro dipped wheels off, like probably I think it went 4 off on the inside of 2.
Oof!
It was sketch.
Oof!
And then the next lap, I'm chasing the Camaro right on his bumper, and then he makes a mistake going into that'd be 6, makes a mistake going into 6. And immediately, as soon as he makes a mistake and blows through the brake zone, he just points his hand out the window.
I give up.
Yep. So that was fun. And then in that session, one of those sessions, Scott Giles was in a Mach. What are they? Not Mustangs. The
Mach 1.
Mach 1. I was going to say Mach E. That's not the same thing.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, he was passing you in a Mach E.
But then I passed him, and then he said that I taught him something through 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Nice.
Because he came up to me, he's like, "What tune you got?" And I was like, "Just the one. I'm a poor. I only have the one. I have a tune. That's the one that works. We're sticking with it."
Right.
So he's like, "Oh, damn." He's like, when you passed me, I didn't expect you to pull on me like you did, and then you taught me something through 10, 11, 12. And I was like, "Well, you're welcome, I guess." But apparently he was legitimately impressed enough that he went and talked to Jabay about it.
I mean,
So I'll take
he's
that.
not a bad person to impress.
No.
I mean, it's good to have him on your side.
Yeah. He seems to like me around.
Yeah.
I haven't had to go talk to him because of something dumb I did in a race. So
It's a win.
Yeah. So when I did my first weekend, obviously I talked to him quite a bit before my races.
Yep.
Then had no incidences and never really crossed paths.
Right.
Just because it's Midwest Fest and everything's crazy.
Yep.
So then, I got the email like on Monday saying that like, yeah, you're good. You passed your comp evaluation. You're clear and ready to go. And then like ever since then, we really haven't, besides just like crossing paths in the paddock, we really haven't talked.
Right.
Just because I haven't had any major issues.
Right.
So yeah, I appreciate that I don't have a bad reputation. So
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus.
I think him and Jabay were both just enjoying just getting to go out and pound laps and have a little bit less of a stressful, crazy weekend.
I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jabay had the bestest weekend.
Yeah.
He was competing in Sunday Cup this weekend in his fit, and he had the bestest of the weekends.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
There was I think they had 70 time attack cars, but you
Something
wouldn't
like that.
but like in that paddock being so spread out, you wouldn't know.
Right.
Like it looks like
Right.
there's 30 cars.
Right.
So that was fun. And then I think they had probably 20 something HPD cars maybe. Yeah, they did a pretty good novice group, and then they only did like 5 or 6 intermediate and 5 or 6 advanced, I think. So
Cool.
It was a fun weekend.
Right.
Low key.
Yeah. Most chill Gridlife weekend ever.
Easily the most chill one I've ever been to.
Really?
Yeah. Like we all kind of were like looking at the sky the whole time waiting for the rain because it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And then you didn't show up.
I'm aware.
So thank you.
That's why I did. Well, I mean, it's not the only reason, but it's
Played
not
a
a small portion of it.
Yeah, I was offering to accept bribes on Friday to stay home because I was convinced that if I came up, it would totally rain.
The whole
And then
time.
I didn't. So
That
Not
was
a drop.
Like, it was when I was Friday night. I was like, man, I don't want to go to the track tomorrow just to stand there in the rain. Like, if I'm driving, that'd be one thing, but like to spectate in the rain,
Sucks.
no, thank you. And it's just like, man, I can't get over that.
Yeah. Don't blame you.
So
No. No, I get progressively getting better. Like these are the tires I've had all season, so like they're
Yeah.
definitely at the end of their life. So wasn't pushing it too hard, and definitely didn't want to be the guy that puts his car into the wall at an HPD. So
That's fair.
didn't do a lot of dirt dropping, just a little.
well, that's the line in through 8. So
It's a line through a lot of turns there. Because like Dusty and I were talking about it, I was like thinking about how GLTC qualifies. You probably dirt drop on like what, I don't know, fucking 8 turns.
out of 14.
Yeah, probably. So it's like, yeah, you probably do it through 1, 2.
Oh, you for sure do it through
You do it through 1, 2,
3.
not 3.
Probably not.
4,
4, yes.
5.
Yes.
5 for sure.
6, yes.
7.
7, you do. 8 for sure.
8 or 7 you do?
You could, yeah.
7's a little sketch.
That wide open, that full
But
throw.
dropping them on the inside, you can get a lot of distance off of it.
I know, but that's
8 you do for sure.
Yeah,
And then 9
eight's
you
just-
usually
8
do
you-
a little.
8's damn near a straight line by the time
By the time you dirt drop it.
you do. Yeah.
You could do 10. But there is a bump at the
You
end.
probably shouldn't do 10.
Shouldn't do 10. You can carry a lot of speed through 10.
Yeah. More speed than you think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super bummed that Jackie didn't come because I wanted to see that BMW going through 10 at like
a speed
Mach
that nothing
40.
should. God.
Yeah.
And then 11, 12, 13, 14, there's really not.
You could probably dirt drop 11, and then the rest is just an autocross.
Right. There's really no. They're too slow for there to be a good reason to do it.
No. Yeah, say that. Yeah, because 13 or 12, 13, 14 is basically an autocross. So you're going as shortest distance at that point.
Yeah.
It's an overgrown slalom.
Yep.
Jesus.
But no, car felt good. I was happy with my driving. I was doing well.
Yeah.
Kept progressing throughout the weekend. Sunday or Saturday. Yeah, Sunday morning. I did my best time and was just like, that's enough. Car's in one piece. Like literally nothing to fix.
Right.
We'll just call it a weekend. And like I'm having this conversation out loud with the group. I'm like, yeah, the track's not going to get better throughout the day. My tires are clearly at the end of their lives. Like I'm not going to go out there and do better.
Right.
Like I'm just burning down laps at this point. So let's not risk it and potentially like
end the season on a high note.
Yeah,
for
like
once.
I don't want to go into the season with a bunch of repairs because I went out and did one HPD session too many. And I'm having this conversation out loud. And I turned to Dusty.
Yeah. Literally, he said,
Hey, Dusty, you going to take that car out on the track now? Is that what he said?
Literally nothing has gone wrong this weekend. There is no reason at all for this car to leave the paddock again. And then looks over at me and says, hey, you want to go drive it for the first time on this big-ass scary track that has walls everywhere?
And you said, of course I do, Robbie. I can't wait. Let me get my helmet.
I said, yes, but no.
I wasn't joking. Like he legitimately could have took it out.
And?
Like, he didn't.
I wanted your driving impressions.
I don't know. The place is still squarely in my head. And I also have not, I've been on track 3 times this year.
In a 350Z though.
Yeah.
And have had weird problems 2 of the 3 times.
Well, but those were car related problems. Robbie's got his car sorted.
Yeah. Which is why it's got to be taken apart.
That's how a 350Z should feel. You could have felt what it could be like if you got all your shit figured out.
Yep.
Some aero, some better suspension mods. I mean, that could have been, your measuring stick.
Yep. Any other track, I would have considered it a lot more, but looking at like 3 different cars that hit walls over the weekend,
there was
didn't help my confidence
People
level.
find walls at Gingerman. I mean, it's fine.
Stepping across bits of a car thrown in the grass Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple rough ones this weekend.
Yeah.
I legitimately, like, Sunday morning I thought about it several different times, and it gave me like supreme anxiety to even consider thinking about it. It was a good weekend. I was happy with what I got photo wise, and yeah.
I mean, there was one session where I had caught up to, I don't know, like a fit or something, and I was
always in the way, aren't they?
It was one day. Jess goes, "I got a picture of you passing someone." I was like, "It's HPD, Jess." It's like, and she shows it to me.
It's a fit.
It's a fucking fit. I'm like, of course I hope so.
I hope I pass it. Good Lord.
Yeah, she was like all excited. She's like, I got a picture of you passing someone.
Twice as much horsepower. I have twice as much tire and arrow. I fucking hope I passed it. Jesus Christ. If I'm slower than any of the... Don't get me wrong. There's some really fast fit drivers there, but if Robbie's slower than any of the fits there, he needs to have a look at his life decisions.
Yep. So I got caught up to him like around 10, 11. So obviously that lap's thrown away.
Yeah.
So that I was trying to set myself up so that I'm right behind them as we take 14, so that I can go full power through 14 and then
get a good run at the start.
so that I can get my next lap in without botching that one.
Right.
So as I'm doing this, I botched my shift down to 3rd through 12.
Okay.
Right where Dusty lost it into the tire wall, and I am fucking completely sideways.
Uh-oh.
in like on the outside of 12,
Having
like
flashbacks?
just drifting it back into like. I'm just like that corner worker's guy. Like, what a fucking idiot!
Fucking Z boys. Always drifting.
Yep,
Always drifting.
it happens, man.
Yeah, he messaged me after that, and he said, "I almost pulled a U."
That's rude.
I said, "It's not possible to win an HPDE, but you can lose one."
Definitely lose it.
Wow.
Yeah, there was, I think it was the black WRX that was in DE. Went around, I guess, the next to last corner before the one that goes up onto the straight.
Yep.
It four-wheel slid and then lost the back end. And I had stopped panning with it and immediately like went back to it and shot the whole sequence. And I have him like full opposite lock in a Bug-Eye WRX or Hawkeye WRX. And the guy that was working that corner station was like, "Yeah, some of these guys are trying a little bit hard right now." He was like, "Do you think they're like trying to get points at the end of the season or something like that?" I was like,
Not
this group. No, not this
session.
group."
We're just risking it all.
They're just
for nothing.
A line for the HPDE trophy.
Yep. Happens. No, I pushed it as far as I was willing to push it without taking any real risks. So I was happy with my times.
well, I'm glad that it went well, at least.
Yeah.
I was glad to be with Robbie for a boring ass uneventful track weekend for once. There was no fire. There was no unexplained weird car issues.
Yep.
It's just
There is some play in the front end somewhere. Like when I go to torque it, the whole wheel kind of does a little bit. And it might be the ball joint.
Better take the whole fucking thing apart, Robbie.
Yeah, I have to.
Just take it all apart, replace all of it.
You're right.
Use
sphericals for everything, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be like that's got. I'm guessing it's probably like the ball joint because
sphericals have a life.
I know they do
Lifespan. They're aware.
I don't know where because it's.
yeah. I'm
I'm
guessing
90% certain it's a ball joint because at PPIR last year, that nut was slightly loose. And when
that's not good.
And when I tightened it, like because it was loose to the pin, so it didn't go anywhere.
Right.
But like it was way worse than what it was at Heartland. So like that got tightened and then that went away. But there was just a little play there that I'm gonna have to investigate more. But like we couldn't figure it out at the track, and the only thing I think of is the ball joint at the bottom, like the lower control arm, or like on the bottom of the spindle.
Yeah, that compression rod ball joint seems like the most likely thing,
and that I know that hasn't been replaced. That I'm aware of, and that's not that big a deal.
As long as you've had it, you haven't. I mean,
like it's spherical. Everything else, like everything's been replaced everywhere else, and I'm 90% certain those never got replaced. Those look like OEM.
Was it sphericals when you got it?
Some of it was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how much suspension work had been done to that already.
Some.
I knew it already had the coilovers.
Yep.
But I know you've also bought like control arms and all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, I got all the. Yeah, everything that wasn't solid mounted now is, or is, fully adjustable and all that stuff. So,
Jesus,
yeah,
time to get those one-piece GK Tech lowers now.
Exactly, that's the only other option.
You're starting to run out of things to do, Robbie. That isn't building a 9,000 RPM VQ.
I did get a VQ.
Yeah, he picked that up too.
Oh, that's right, you did, didn't you? You were able to pull off a deal on that.
Yeah, free because it's broken as fuck.
Oh, is it one for Jeremy's?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's quite broken.
It's quite broken.
Yeah, there's more metal.
Small. Yeah, there's small metal pieces in the intake. It's fine
in the intake, so
they're not big ones.
There's no structural damage to the.
Didn't look like it. I'll tear it down and see what's savable.
Is that a sleeved motor?
No.
No.
I don't think so. We'll do some more digging. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
You never. Yeah, you have had the heads off of one of those.
Yeah, but I can't remember off the top of my head if if it is in fact sleeved. I don't think it is.
Okay.
So I think you can overbore them to 20 over. Is that right? Not much.
Oh, really?
And then like that's it. It's like you can go to a 96 millimeter piston, and then that's it. That's all you can do. So I want to say no. Pretty confidently saying you cannot. How about that?
All right, fair enough.
But yes, I'll tear it apart.
There's a website that'll do a Stage 2 VQ35DE block with dart and sleeves in it for $4,500.
So you just pay someone to do it for you. So you can sleeve it.
I guess.
Doesn't say what kind of power level they... able to hold over 1,000 horsepower.
There you go, Robbie.
Well,
what kind of RPM can it turn? That's what we're really worried about here.
That's on the short. That's the
that's going to be down to the crank and the rods.
Yes. Well, that and cams and all that stuff too. So
valve train.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But so Jeremy gave that to me, and I'll tear it apart, see what's salvageable, what isn't. Maybe I have $30 worth of scrap aluminum. I don't know.
Right now, you'd be lucky if you have $30 worth of scrap aluminum.
It's got Nismo headers on it, so that might be worth.
No, I
money.
mean in the weight of the price of scrap aluminum right now. You might be lucky if you got $30.
Is what it is.
Shit's out of control right now.
Yeah, maybe I'll tear it apart and it's got Eagle H-beam rods and Mysco pistons already in there. You don't know.
Well, it's only going to have 5 out of 6 of them or something.
I can get one more. We'll figure it out. We'll tear it apart.
It's got Nismo headers on it.
Got Nismo headers. And
so is that like a factory Nismo would have those headers on it,
no,
or they're an aftermarket?
It's an aftermarket thing.
They're a Nismo part, but they're not what came on the Nismo.
Correct. I believe.
Okay.
So
they look a lot. They look a lot like the stock manifolds on an HR, but
yeah, I was gonna say if they're authentic, I think there's some value there. What do I have?
Yeah.
I have the ISR long tubes.
Okay, so you're not running a stock.
I have no interest in these.
Manifold.
I have no interest in these headers. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. After I kept breaking, the flexi part where the Y pipe connected to the down pipe.
Yep.
I got rid of the down pipes and the shorter headers. So I just have one long piece.
Yeah.
Because that's one less thing that's going to fucking break every weekend.
Right.
So I didn't care about what it did for power. I didn't care about noise. All I cared about was one less fail point.
Is this reliable? Done.
Yep. Because it had failed at Brainerd last year where I broke another flexi joint.
Yeah, I remember you had that a ton of times.
And that guy in Omaha had them for sale. I'm like, I'm buying them right now. I don't care what it does to my power. I don't care what it does to my noise. I just want to stop dealing with this bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And guess what? Never had to deal with it again.
I noticed
you better knock on that table.
I noticed a couple weeks ago that the exhaust for my Omni is laying on the floor of my garage, and I didn't put it there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The mice did.
I mean, I doubt they chewed through metal.
Rats do.
I guess we'll find out.
Maybe somebody's got in there and stole your catalytic converter when you weren't looking.
You're hilarious. Catalytic converter. There's barely a muffler on that fucking thing. It literally goes 4-to-1 long tube, and then there's a flange and the muffler bolts to that, and then there's a tip because all it has to do is dump behind the driver according to the SCCA rules. So that's all it is. So
yeah, no, I got a handful of things this winter that I want to just improve on the car. Like a big thing is driver comfort. So the new seat's a lot better than what I had. The new bracket I'm buying for that. I'm not even making one. I'm buying one.
Oh shit!
That I can adjust in ways that'll get the seat exactly where I want it. And get that heel plate so I can get my feet where I can heel toe a little bit better.
That stuff's more important than people give it credit for.
Replacing my pedals because the OEM little tiny throttle pedal is not conducive to that.
Yeah,
and it's literally the same height as the brake.
Yeah,
it's barely any shorter than it. So I'm gonna adjust stuff like that. So try to get me happier in the car.
That stuff's more important than people give it credit for. It's totally worth the time.
Yep.
Also, he bought the skinniest seat on earth.
That's not true. I legitimately thought it was one step wider than what I had previously owned because I had the Sparco Corsa, which previously was the skinniest seat you can own. So then I bought the Sabelt Taurus, thinking that it was slightly, marginally wider.
Right.
Because the Sparco Corsa said a 30-inch waist maximum width. The Taurus says a 32-inch waist maximum. I was like, oh, it's a little bit wider. They're the
Their
same
conversion on inches was kind of off.
Yeah, they're the same width. It fits me super snug. It's great.
I would hope. Good Lord.
It's great. But yeah, it's
I don't care how skinny you are. Like almost no grown male adult has a remarkably skinnier than 30-inch waistline.
No, still have 30. I still fit in my high school pants.
Yeah, so do I.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn, I know that.
I've only gained around the center section. I still could easily fit into. I mean, I still wear the same size shoe and the same size pants that I've worn since I was fucking 15, 16 years old.
Yep, same here. It's dusty too, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
No, I'm bigger, but I weighed like 130 pounds when I graduated high school. So
I would be lucky if I weighed 100. I
did
did not weigh 130 pounds when I graduated from high school.
Like 145, I think, for me. Maybe.
No, I was like 120, 125.
Like, this is the biggest I've ever been. I think I weigh like 160.
Same.
Yeah.
Me too.
But yeah, stuff like that is what I'm going to be focusing on this winter. We'll see what the new rule changes do. See if I want to adjust anything from there. Obviously, I'm working with Joe at Dula, so we'll have a plan for like tuning and stuff moving into next year. But he's really happy with the tune we have now.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll just see where that goes.
Oh, I remember an upgrade you and Joe had talked about.
Yep. So we'll see if that.
You almost have to, Robbie.
Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Well, if I go to a different engine, I'll for sure do it.
Right.
But with the stock engine,
does it run with Schmeltech?
Yes.
But I did learn that
it might rhyme with skink. I can't remember.
It doesn't rhyme with skink.
Okay. That's a lizard, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I had one in my backyard not too long ago.
I know.
I couldn't get a picture of it though.
Katie told me I could bring the tree frog home.
I couldn't believe it was still there.
Katie said I could bring it home.
It's been hanging out in my front yard for like 24 hours. It's a neat little tree frog.
Seriously want to take it home.
I was kind of surprised it was still sitting there.
If we had a terrarium that was ready to go and not just an empty fish aquarium with a bunch of
bullshit in it,
rocks in the bottom of it, I would probably be taking him home with me.
So for those that aren't aware, there's a gray tree frog that's just like hanging out on my porch.
Yeah.
Or like in front of my garage. And it's been
you
there
also
for a day
have
and a half.
an insane number of mushrooms in your backyard.
Yeah.
That I was able to identify because I'm a crazy person.
Happens every year.
Yeah, there's so many of them back there.
Are any of them magic?
I haven't licked them yet. And luckily they're not like my
they're large bullets.
The first time I saw them, I panicked thinking all right, where's that in relation to my septic? Because oh fuck,
dude, it's a crazy line. I mean, it goes all the way across,
and there's nowhere. It's nowhere near my septic or my laterals.
It's crazy. I'm looking to see if they're edible. It does not appear that they are edible.
Jess went through before our wedding and spent hours just getting all of those out of the yard because she didn't want them in the yard during our wedding.
That's crazy.
But I did learn that Heartland Park, I top out fifth gear going over alpha. So I know that I've gotten this a pretty decent.
Oh, that's right, because this is not the first event with the shortened.
This is the first higher speed course with these with the shorter gears.
Yeah.
So Adam Pacetta was at the top of or right before alpha. And it was no question about it. I was flat over alpha and a ways down because I'd go over alpha and then it'd be like, Revlin. All right, break. So I was just, I think at a track like Heartland Park or Road America, I'd be better off the 3.9 rather than a 4.09.
Do you have a sixth?
Yeah, I do have a sixth.
Oh, okay. Well, you got another gear to go yet, Robbie.
But it sucks like 0.72. It's like a terrible ratio.
This is an edible mushroom. But
I wouldn't.
It has no consistency or flavor.
Oh, it's not like a moral or what are those called?
It is an edible mushroom if the slimy cuticle is removed off the cap.
All right.
The mucousy skin layer is what is known to cause intestinal issues.
Yeah, I bet. If you want to go try it,
now you know, Robbie.
I'll even cook them for you.
No interest. No interest.
So my off season's gonna be comforts. I'd like to get to a Geiken LSD someday.
Oh, yeah?
I don't think it's going to be remarkable. It wouldn't be worth it to spend it to replace my Tomy, but I think one day I'd like to do that. So I think if I did that...
If you found one?
Yeah, if I found one. At no time. And no time in the near future. But if I came across a second one, I'd probably just if I was going to buy a second LSD, I'd just buy a second pumpkin and a different gear set. So then I'd have the 409 for shorter tracks, and then go to the 3.9 for like the higher speed tracks.
At that point, you just buy a Winners and be done with it, Robbie.
No.
Yeah, you just buy a quick change. Sicky, I guarantee you, makes a cradle to bolt right in there.
They do.
Yeah,
but
it's only like $7,000.
But if you get the pumpkin, I can hot swap the pumpkin in 30 minutes. It's no big deal.
You can change a quick change in way less than that.
No, it's fine. I have no intention of doing this anytime soon.
Plus, if you do the quick change whenever you drive around the paddock, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the thing you want.
I do want that.
Yeah. Race car noises.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, that does sound great.
And then you need a dog box.
Yeah.
I mean, my conventional rear end of mine kind of sounds like that already. But
ever since I went to the solid transmission mount, it does it a little bit more inside the cabin.
Nice. We may have been trying to talk Jason into putting a Jericho in his BMW today, just because there's a certain amount of comedy in a Jericho 4-speed inside of a BMW M3.
And that has the DSG or whatever they call it. That'd be awesome to pull that out and put a dog box in.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't that be the best? So.
Yeah, his McLaren fixed.
Yeah? Did you go for a ride?
Just across the paddock.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You didn't go out on track.
No, not on track, but I'll be in it later.
Yeah, I know,
I'll be in
Robbie.
it in November.
I know, Robbie. You rub it in, you fucking prick.
Yeah,
I told myself at one point I kind of wanted to go for a lap with him on the track, and then I saw that go through 8 and 9, and I was like, I'm not getting in the passenger seat of that thing for anything. Holy shit!
The car's fast as fuck, isn't it?
It is a rocket ship.
So I've been on track with a 720 before, and I got out of the car and I said, that is a goddamn spaceship. And I echo that. I told Jason straight up after watching it coming into 8, I said, yeah, that thing it's not a car.
In a previous life, it made another like 100 or 200 horsepower.
Yeah, it was at stock power 690
wheel.
Yep.
Insane.
Yeah. So
and it goes by you and you just hear, and then you hear the exhaust.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Nuts.
It's such a cool car.
Yep. Yeah. So
I could and did just stare at it. Just every surface of it is just.
I don't care how terrible it is. I would go through every second of that terribleness to own that car. If I had the financial means to own it.
Of course.
To do what he has done and to do what Andy Hollis has done, to continue to own and drive that car on track, it must be incredible when it works.
Yep.
I mean, if I had my choice, I'd take a P1 over a 720, but you could put me in literally any McLaren and I would be just...
Yeah, I think the MP4 12C is just fine too.
Yeah, the P1 is still way, way, way high on my list, but the 720 checks almost all.
720 is probably faster than the P1 in all reality. I think it is. Around a track a lot of times.
I know the newer, whatever the newer one that's the hybrid is, they said straight up that it is faster than the P1. I'm not sure about the 720,
but yeah, I don't care. The P1 is there's only one McLaren that's better than the P1, and that's a car I can't even begin to ever even imagine I could own.
Yeah.
So
if you remember, Jason's engine blew up at Road America. We talked about when he was on the show. It was in Atlanta getting a new OEM engine.
He did literally fly to Atlanta on Tuesday, drive it home on Wednesday
to Detroit
from Atlanta to get its break-in miles, and then put it on a trailer and drove to Topeka for that weekend.
Yes,
he literally did that.
And had time to pick up a seat for me.
The guy.
Well, that's because he observed all the posted speed limits on the way back.
Right.
From Atlanta to
because
Detroit.
clearly you break in an engine by just setting the cruise at 70.
I reminded him
Obviously.
that you were supposed to break in the engine, not break the engine.
But yeah, he had a also an uneventful weekend. He broke the track mod record at for Heartland Park, and he also beat Andy Hollis's time. So
Did he? Nice.
He knocked off all the checklists off his boxes as well.
He also most likely clinched the track mod season.
Nice.
I don't think anybody can beat him.
I don't believe so.
Or will. I think anybody who's within striking distance is probably not going to Laguna. So I think he's got it. So I know there are a couple of people that the season's done for that. Like they know
yeah, a lot of people.
Well, I mean, like the points season, they know they've won already.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens at Laguna, I don't think no matter what happens at Laguna, he wins track mod. I know no matter what happens at Laguna, Dewey wins street mod.
Yep.
Dewey's got a perfect season, actually, points wise.
Impressive.
And I'm not sure where street or Club TR or Sunday Cup are.
I thought Dana had TR locked up.
I don't know.
I thought he did.
I think he might too, because a lot of his competition seemed to not have as good a year as they have in the past.
Yeah.
But Peter Granberg's been kind of kicking ass too, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I honestly don't know, but I thought he did.
I'm not sure. And I don't know where Street or Street GT or Sunday Cup are at.
So I'm assuming the points on the website, it says 9 of 12
They
rounds.
did. I thought they updated that.
Well, there's Willow Springs and Laguna Seca are left yet.
So I don't know. 9 of 12.
They've been posting them all day on the Facebook page. Let's see here. Track mod.
I'm looking on the actual. I'm looking on the actual Gridlife website. So
on their Facebook page, Jason Kanakary at 102. Second place, Chris Boersma at 87. He can only score 26 points.
Okay.
So, he could.
Yeah, I was going to say that. How's that math looking out?
87
plus 26.
113. So, no, because he would have to drop one to.
Oh,
because you only get your 4.
Yeah, it's best 4 events.
Just best 4 events.
Then yeah.
So I don't know what he would drop, but maybe I think he's still pretty safe.
Yep.
Street GT Ito Waxman has a perfect season with 104. So that's a C5 Corvette. Yep. And then Club TR Dana Baczynski has a 99 after
that's pretty good.
Best of 4 rounds at 10 of Sunday Cup Jacob Agaba has a 97. James Smith has a 93. I know he is not going to Laguna. Michael Ross a 91. He's not going to Laguna, so I'd say Jacob probably has that on lock as well because he is going to Laguna. Street Mod Dewey has a 104. He has that on lock. He basically can't lose.
Yeah.
Street Joe Milk, I don't know. 99. Tony Barber has a 90, so I think he's probably pretty safe as well. And then Unlimited Steve Luca with an 83. In first, Jeremy Loader with a 77 in second. So, looks like maybe second and third could change.
Yep.
So, we've only seen Ferris at one event this year.
Festival.
So, he's not even in the top 10.
Jeez, what's he doing?
Because he only has a 26. So,
down there playing with kangaroos all year.
Yeah.
Dalton is at third in track mod right now.
However,
Josh Powers, if he goes to Laguna, can overtake him.
Yes.
But he has to get second in order to do it.
Ooh.
Or no, he has to get second. Okay. So there has to be at least 2 cars that are faster than Josh Powers in order for Dalton to hold on to his third place track mod season.
He should probably just go to Laguna just to be safe.
Yeah. I mean, that's the safe money.
Yeah.
He only needs 1 session, so.
Rude.
Yeah.
So
John Jacobs was there with his BRZ.
Uh-huh.
He runs mid of TT with us.
Yeah.
And so like he talks to us quite a bit, and then his wife gets along with Jess pretty well. So They threw her Jess in the car for a session.
In the BRZ?
Yep.
Or FRS or whatever.
Yep.
No, it's a BRZ.
So yeah, then Jess.
Or maybe it's
just
not. I don't fucking know, Robbie.
Yep, sure.
It's a Toyobaru.
Toyota.
86.
It's
an 86.
It's an old one, so it's a Toyobaru.
It's still an 86.
No, it's a Toyobaru.
If it was Japan, it would be an 86.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, so he gave Jess a ride, and turns out she gets motion sickness on track.
In the passenger seat.
In the passenger seat.
That might not happen in the driver's seat.
So she said, like, she was real embarrassed by it, and I was like, don't be embarrassed, because I'd probably do the same thing in a passenger seat.
I know lots of
full
people
session.
who are like
No
die-hard race car drivers that can't ride passenger because of that.
I've gotten sick just driving the hills of Missouri, like in the passenger seat of just driving down the fucking road.
I was going to say, I believe that I have heard of her legendarily terrifying driving in the back hills of Missouri. And I can only assume that she's more than comfortable on track if she would be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, she'd be fine in the driver's seat.
Which means that she needs a Miata.
I don't have any money.
Instead of a Jeep.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're across the Jeep bridge. I think
then you're going to need
good.
a 2-car trailer, Robbie.
No.
What you need Jason to buy a Miata.
Yeah.
And then he can bring it, and Jess and Alex can split an HPDE entry.
Love it.
Or they could get a Miata with a cage, and it could be a 3-car super grid effort.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
3-car?
Yeah. Find some other people.
Yeah.
The Miata, the 350, and the Omni? Or the BMW, I guess?
Yeah.
He's still trying to sell me the Omni.
I know he is.
I'm not buying that car.
You should buy it.
I'm not buying that car.
You should buy it.
I don't need 2 broken Omnis.
His is fixed.
Today.
It'll be fixed when you get it.
No.
It'll be track ready.
No.
Yep. I bet you just deliver it.
That car seems terrifying.
300 something wheel and an Omni? Yeah.
Apparently a full jam at one point, that car made 315 to the wheel. And I can only assume that it weighs somewhat similar to mine, which is 2350.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, like it's all stripped out, but then I'm sure it has a much heavier cage in it. So I bet you they're similar weight.
Yeah.
That seems terrifying.
You should get it.
I don't want it.
Think of how exciting that would be.
It wouldn't be that exciting because it'd just sit in my garage because I don't have any way to get it to the racetrack.
I would help you.
Were you going to leave your 350Z at home?
Sometimes, yeah.
No.
Then we're good friends.
No. I hit my hand with a hammer today, and
at your desk. How'd you hit your hand?
The top of my hand is swollen, and I'm not convinced that I didn't, like, maybe a little bit fracture the bone that I fractured in.
Actually, that is fucking swollen.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I'm not fucking with you. That is swollen.
Yeah, it is. I'm well aware.
Well, this is America, so you're just gonna have to cut it off.
I'm just pretending that it's not a problem.
Yeah, just pour some water on it, some dirt, maybe. Spit on
some
it.
Dirt, yeah.
It's the same hand that I got attacked by a cat viciously.
Oh, so it's super infected still.
So there's the bite marks right there.
That would explain why.
And I hit it right there.
Ooh, yeah.
Don't worry. The pressure from the infection will hold the bone together while it heals.
Yeah.
The infection's gone. I took all my...
For how wide and fat your hand is right now, I don't think so.
No, that's swole.
No, that's
not the good kind of swole either.
No. No, that's infection. For sure.
It's swole.
SWOLLEN, not SWOLE.
I may have hit it with a sledgehammer.
Don't.
It wasn't just a hammer. It was a 3-pound sledge.
Whoops.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated, but I bumped it against the table and it really hurt. That's what brought it to the top of my head. So, Dusty, how was your weekend?
It was
Behind
good.
the camera.
Is
that your first time shooting there? It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The only other 2 times I've been there were
in a car.
Last 2 years. Yep.
Right. So how was that? Is that a good track to shoot, or is that a hard track to shoot? How is it?
It is. It's super accessible, which is nice.
I suppose it is. Yeah. I mean,
so like it's. So I talked to a guy that's local.
Did you have a bike or something?
I took a scooter, just a little kick scooter.
Okay.
But,
Like a razor.
It's a mongoose, but yeah.
Noise. Noise.
I gotta work on my bar spins and kick flips and
definitely not kick
else scooter kids do.
Kick flips.
Tail whips,
bar spins.
Tail whips. That's what I'm looking for. Tail whips. I'm a BMX guy. I should know that, right?
Animals.
Yeah. So yeah, I talked to a local guy like pretty early on because we were trying to figure out like Rob was going to do a meeting and then we couldn't find Rob and like we couldn't really figure out for sure what was going on. So we're sitting there talking and he's telling me about it all. And he's like, this place is pretty big. So a lot of people just get overwhelmed when they get here. And I'm like, it is not a small track, but also I shoot at Coda every year. So
he's big dicking over there.
Yeah.
Big. Well, not like,
just slapped him right across the face. Just
yeah.
I mean, like
I'll be at Coda in February. It's fine.
No, I'm not like.
Do you not know who I am? I'm Dusty Nixon of 1010's podcast. I've shot Formula D.
Yep.
I've shot at Formula One tracks
during a time attack event.
Details.
The most prestigious the most prestigious time attack event in America.
Mm-hmm.
Self-proclaimed.
Yeah, so anyway,
Jabay would argue that, but I actually don't agree with Jabay on that one. Sorry. Anyway.
So yeah, we apparently they'd had some kind of incident with a photographer recently, so we weren't able to go to the outside of the track. We had to stay on the inside. Basically, they said if you look at a car in your driver's left, you're good. If you look at a car in your driver's right, you have taken a wrong turn. Please go back where you came.
Where would you go to be on the outside?
Just across the bridge to go over on like the drag strip side.
Oh,
yeah, so you'd be like outside of 14.
Yeah, basically 12, like outside 10. Of like 11, like 10, 11, 12, 13.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
I suppose you could continue to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be on the backside of 10 and stuff.
Yeah, but like you're not going to be able to get down into like from Alpha to 7 easily.
No,
definitely not.
It'd be a long haul to get over there.
Right.
But
the pond is over there off of 14 on the backside.
Oddly enough, no one was fishing it.
Weird. It's fine. I'll do it next year.
Yeah, about next year.
Yeah, so
I'm not buying it. Really.
No, I'm not buying it either.
No, I have a lot more optimism after hearing some of the discussion about it this weekend. But so the cool thing about it was basically everywhere where there's a corner station, there's a gap in the fence. So like Coda, you've got to there's roads that go all the way around the track, but there's only like 2 places to get into those roads.
Oh,
so if you want to get to certain parts of the track, you've got to go all the way down to one corner and then up and around and through and back and down and over and then get to that spot. And this one, it's like, okay, there's a flag station at corner at turn 5 and there's a hole in the fence right there. So I can just scoot my little butt over there and I'm right where I want to be. So that made it really cool. Like I shot a lot of different places. Like I shot basically the entire track through the weekend and, had like super easy access to get to all of it. So, there's a spot like looking out over turn 4 or 5, I think, that you can see off in the distance, and there's just like all of the rolling hills of Kansas with a little like grain silo and a little barn and stuff in the background.
So adorable.
So, yeah, it's like, oh, it's so quaint. And then I borrowed a newer model camera from one of my friends at work, and I am really badly hooked. And what's up?
You're going to be buying one?
No, I'm probably going to buy that because he hasn't used it as much as he thought he would. So
I'm just going to buy that one.
Yeah, I'm probably going to buy that one.
Oh, nice. Nice.
It does take great photos, I will say.
I had like it shoots a lot higher frame rate than what mine does. And then it has a much better focusing system that actually has vehicle tracking in it. So
it does all the work for you?
It does a lot of it. It makes it a lot easier to get.
Yeah.
So, like with mine, I think at festival I shot like over 4 days of shooting. I've shot like 4,000 images, and I came up with like, I don't know how many total that I was like super pumped about. Like, yeah. And then going through these, like I'm being super picky, and I'm still just getting a much higher rate of things that I'm like, that's like technically sound. Like the car looks good, the car is crisp, and a lot slower shutter speeds, a lot more action and blur and the images and stuff like that. I'm pretty happy with what I got. And there's going to be, I posted one gallery today on Wednesday, and there will be at least 3 more.
Jesus
nice.
Christ.
That size. Yeah. So
damn, Dustin.
It makes my car look really good and clean.
It does. Your car really pops.
Considering how I just spit shined it because I refused to wash it because it was supposed to fucking rain.
Yeah.
So I didn't. I would not wash it. I wouldn't do it.
If you would have, it would have rained.
Yeah. So I didn't do it, and then on maybe it was Saturday, I actually took a rag to it and was like, all right, we're gonna wipe all the dirt off of it because it had rained at RPM and it was properly dirty.
Right. Jesus. It does look really good. Like it really, the chrome pops, and I mean,
Yeah,
the camera did a good job.
Yep. Definitely made it look better than
catches-
it actually looks.
yeah, it catches the light nice. So yeah, shot all the way up to second session on Sunday, and then decided that getting home Sunday night instead of Monday midday sounded good, so booked it back south. But
Yeah.
What is that, 9 hours for you? 8 hours for you?
so it was nearly 8 going up for some reason on Friday. I did one of those things where I put the directions in and I turned on CarPlay, and I didn't really look at where it was taking me. And at one point I like backed out of CarPlay and looked at it, and I'm like 20 miles east of Tulsa, out in the middle of nowhere in some like
Nice.
tiny ass town, sitting in the middle of downtown at a stoplight, going like, what happened? Like, where did we go so
tolls?
Yeah, where did we go so far wrong? And it said it was avoiding a highway closure like in the middle of Tulsa at 4:30 on a Friday. I'm like, there's not a highway closed in the middle of Tulsa at 4:30 on a Friday. I refuse to believe that.
I don't know why it would have taken you that way at all. Like, just go straight up 35. Just straight 35.
Well, so leaving from work, it's much shorter mileage to go up 69 through Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
But it takes you through a lot of smaller towns. But if you do it right and go through Tulsa instead of going through Buckley
Dallas?
Town and what's up?
Are you a Dallas official at work?
No, I'm McKinney.
McKinney? Oh, okay.
Yeah, McKinney's right along 75, which turns into 69 in Oklahoma.
I can see how that would make sense.
So I talked to my dad as I was driving back down 35, doing like 87 miles an hour just to keep up with traffic.
Right.
And we had the discussion of, in 2021, we left from his house, which is also like right next to 75. And we went up 69, and we were like halfway through that trip up, we were like, this is stupid. We're taking 35 back. We don't care what it says. So I basically just did the same thing over again 2 years later. But
yeah.
But it was like looking at it leaving from work, I needed to go like back by my house and then up, and it's like a 30-minute ordeal to get back over to 35, and then it's an extra like 60 miles on top of what the distance is up 69, but it's still way faster.
Well, yeah, because your average speed is so much higher.
Yeah, and then like the last like 2 hours in Kansas going that route is just a 2-lane highway, so I'm following people doing like 57 miles an hour and a 70. But I did find out that the Blazer will go 57 miles an hour to 100 pretty damn quick. So,
sport mode engaged.
Yeah, it'll pass some cars.
Should put it in an HPDE, see what it does.
No, it's a little top heavy.
Jen
it does have
what's wrong with my
265s on it though. So.
You get it back on Monday, give it to Jen. The brakes are squealing and all that. What did you do to my car this weekend?
Weird.
I don't know.
Special
I have to get it scheduled for the dealership, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. It's just the weirdest thing.
No, I don't think because it has 21s on it and the brakes are like,
what's that?
Not even half.
Awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. It's super fun until you have to put tires on it.
And then 21 would be better than 22. Just putting that out there. 22 fucking sucks.
Is that what the edges are? I thought 22s. They were 21s.
22s.
Jesus Christ.
See, I was looking at the same size for either 20s or 22s, and they were all cheaper than what the 21s were.
17s.
18. 18 for life.
Yeah.
All cars. Doesn't matter.
17s for life. For sure.
Yeah, my truck has 20s on it. Those suck too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine does too, actually.
Get some sidewall on those bitches. Good Lord.
They do. They're 70s.
Well,
it's like a 255 70 or something.
Fair. Yeah, they are kind of ridiculous, aren't they?
Yeah, they're massive. Every time I pull one off, ugh.
Why is this so heavy?
Yeah. Jesus. Well, it's got like 1 inch lug, or it's like 7/8 lug nuts. Like there's 40 pounds of lug nuts on that truck.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, yeah, shooting there was better than my 2 experiences driving there. I will happily say that.
It makes me sad that you don't like it, because I realize it's literally been the only track I've ever driven on. So, like, I don't have a very good grasp of anything else. But I really enjoyed driving it.
I like it, but
you've probably been on that track more than any other.
Probably, yeah. I've really grown to get comfortable on it. Right. I think that's the big the big difference.
You've been there so much.
Because let's say I've only been there twice.
Crashed into a wall.
Not there.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think had it only been a couple times, I would agree with Dusty that it's a little more nerve-wracking, but once
I guess maybe because I have no bearing on anything else, it didn't seem that intimidating to me.
I think once you're...
But then, like, if I go to Gingerman, I'll be like, Heartland Park is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, the biggest thing to me was, like, I watched video. I tried to drive it in the sim. I tried to be really prepared both times when we went, and both times it was like going up over Alpha. I never did get good reference points there. I never.
Well, to be fair, there aren't any. They're like,
that's the thing.
Jamie told me to line up with the power line pole clear out away from you, like way away. Just line up the front of the car, like right across that, and just point at it until you can see your turn in.
Yeah, and so like every lap, I'm coming up to that part, and I'm like, I can't decide if do I need to be right up next to the wall? Do I need to be like where do I put the car? Where do I point the car? And then if you don't get it right, I'm either like I'm way over slowing because I have no confidence, or I get over it and I realize that I'm not pointed the right way at all. It just to start the lap that way really got into my head a lot. And then last year I was sleep deprived and the car was being real angry and fighting me too. So I just haven't had, I needed to go there and have a good trip to just chill and enjoy the place. Yeah. So
there used to be a NASCAR road course stop.
Yeah.
And they ran a totally different configuration.
No, they go straight after Alpha.
Yeah.
They don't go down 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, and I think Alpha and all that was a different configuration at that point too.
But I feel like NASCAR there would be rad.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, the track that they ran on super sucks compared to the rest of it, but
right. But if they ran like a good configuration there,
just the whole thing, just do the whole
right.
The what do they call it? The Grand Prix 2.5 mile or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the
Fast
one.
8, Fast 2.
Yeah.
It's the only way to run that track.
Fast 1.
Yeah, sorry. Fast 1, Fast 8. That's the only way to run that track.
I've never ran slow 1.
That's not true. We ran slow on the second day of TT Nats.
Did we really?
Yeah, because it rained and there was actually no. I think we turned.
Yeah,
we turned left.
We did we did part of the NASCAR because they did the track sprint on like a really weird course.
And there was so much water on
one
and 3 and 4 maybe that they just said fuck it, and we turned left. And after the track sprint was over, they left that configuration in, and then I was like, I have no interest in running this.
Yes. Yeah, we basically went to a modified NASCAR track.
Yeah, which I didn't want to run.
No, and I don't think I went out for that. I had to have. I did the whole event.
Right, you had to have because your TT mid-div rules required you to run every session to get points.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Okay, yeah, I blocked it from my memory because it wasn't fun.
Yeah. So. It's weird, though.
Yep.
I think NASCAR would be cool there, though. So.
Yeah, I was having kind of flashbacks because a lot of the concrete barricades along the outside still have the paint from like the old, I guess probably from the NASCAR races. There was like Budweiser and Hooters and a bunch of, they're all faded. You can barely see them.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there looking at all these faded, painted walls and stuff and thinking about the fact that the track may go away, may not, but it was flashbacks to Texas World Speedway at College Station here. The last couple of times the last like 4 times I went there, it was the last event ever for SCCA or NASA. And it was a similar thing. I have a much bigger soft spot in my heart for that place than I do Heartland, but I think it sounds like it's kind of similar for you guys of just standing there and like thinking about the fact that it could go away.
Yeah.
It's not a fun feeling.
Well,
I like it. But
for that, like I've drag raced there. That was my first Top Fuel event there. Like I've been there for quite a few other things.
Yeah.
So that place holds a little bit of special meaning to me beyond just the times we spent there road course racing.
Yeah.
So I will be sad if it leaves.
Very.
It's one of my favorite places. So,
but sounds like this is part of its normal life cycle, though. So
it is very much so.
Hopefully, we will.
Yeah, it's not the first time this track has been in this exact situation.
And I know there are events that are on the calendar for next year already.
Yeah,
but I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but they are on the calendar.
Right.
Contracts have been written, so. So we'll see. So there was a weird thing, like Friday, was it Friday night? No, it was Saturday night. So there's a huge fire past turn 1 and like off the track.
Right.
But it looked like a sunrise.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there watching it, just like, is that coming our way? Like, is this like a forest fire situation? Like, it was fucking huge.
And I can't find what it is.
Yeah,
I looked for it on Google. There was a house fire in Topeka, but according to your guys' timeline, according to your timeline, that does not match.
No.
So I don't know what it was.
No idea. We just kind of stood there and watched it because it was fucking huge.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever it was big.
And it sounded like the only stuff out there is like warehouses and shit. So
yeah.
So I have no idea what it ended up being.
Huh.
But like it wasn't big enough to make the news.
No,
apparently.
But it was big enough that we could smell it all the way.
Smell the burn.
Yeah, like the smoke up like all from the way over there at the track.
Huh.
And then it got replaced.
Were we smelling that or something that was on the ground next to our paddock?
Yeah,
space?
then that smell got replaced by puke.
Oh, good. I think that's the first time I can remember Dalton puking at a race.
And to be fair, it wasn't because he was that drunk. It was because they were playing Slap the Bag. And then Jeremy squeezed the bag and just like way too much wine all at once. So like, yeah, just
or that's his version.
That's
of the
what
story,
that's how he tells the story. Yes.
So he had gut rot from drinking too much wine.
Allegedly.
And he threw it up.
I don't have any pictures of him doing that.
That's okay. I'm strangely okay with the fact that you don't have pictures of him throwing up.
I have a picture of him peeing on it, though.
Peeing on his puke?
Yeah, I got to clean it up.
Yeah, that was the way he opted to try and clean it.
Yeah. So Dalton.
Wow.
So Dalton had Iowa Man Racing had a ticket for this event.
Yeah.
So we're there Friday night, expecting him any minute. He's not there. So we're texting him, messaging him. He said he's going to be there for first session. Saturday morning rolls around. I think they left Friday night.
Did they leave Friday night?
They left Friday night.
Are you sure?
Yes, because they made it to Omaha, or no, they made it to Sioux City.
And then they stopped at the casino?
At the casino on Friday night.
At the Hard Rock?
Something like that. Because they made it to Omaha Saturday morning.
Yeah. That's why I thought maybe they never left.
No, they left Friday night, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Stopped somewhere along the way. Then
because they were in a hotel room Friday night.
Yes. So then he's texting us as they're leaving Saturday morning. He's going to be there for first session. As he sends that message, first session's already on grid.
Right.
So
right.
It's obviously not going to make it.
We knew that.
Well, and also, when we were asking him on Friday night where they were at, he sent a picture of Ryan standing next to the truck in broad daylight. It was like, who are you, E-Man?
Yeah. Yeah, it was at like 9:30 at night, and he sends a picture. It was clearly taken at like 6:30 at night.
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting ready to leave, guys.
By the middle of the afternoon on Saturday, I was wondering if he had just sent us a picture of the Corvette loaded on the little trailer from another time, just to mess with us.
Yeah, that actually tracks.
Went fully, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
just straight lie. But no, they were texting us when they were in Omaha driving down, because they sent pictures from there's ice cream crews going on at RPM, so they sent pictures of that. So then they stop at a cafe and steakhouse, and then they stopped
at a distillery
in
somewhere in Kansas City.
Yep.
At some point, Jason requested burnt ends.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, and then for whatever reason, Dalton thought he was serious and was on a mission, come hell or high water, to find Jason burnt ends.
Well, they did owe us for how many times he lied to us. We also bought him a bunch of food,
right?
And then he never ate any of it,
right?
Which is rude. And then, so then they get there late, it's getting dark already.
Yeah,
and they show up Saturday night. Then they want to go golfing the next day, not even get on track. So he unloads his car, parks it next to our cars in our little paddock area. And then they leave and go and get food or whatever, and then they come back. And then they play slap the bag, because that's what we do now.
Oh, good.
So
no, that's not what we do.
No, I don't.
That's what happens in our paddock.
All I wanted to do was watch Formula One. Of course, that doesn't start till midnight.
Gross.
Because it's in Japan, so we tried to watch qualifying at 1 a.m. on Friday night, couldn't make it. So we watched it Saturday morning, and then we tried to make it to the race, and we made it 13 laps in before we were all just falling asleep in our bag chairs, just let's just do this in the morning.
So the race started, and then immediately there was a safety car.
Of course.
And I just kind of slinked across the back of the lawn chairs and went and brushed my teeth, and then crawled into the car and went to sleep.
Yeah. That's the right thing to do.
So before that, they're playing slap the bag, and that's when everyone kind of comes over. And then they didn't bring Franzia this time; they bought Boda Box, the black box.
Is that cheaper?
I don't think it's cheaper, but apparently it's worse somehow. So then, they're squeezing this. I think it's a cab. It's a dark red. I don't know.
It's garbage. It's Kool-Aid with alcohol.
It's worse though.
Somebody slapped it hard enough at one point that it flew over the heads of the people in the row of lawn chairs, and it landed almost inside Robbie's trailer.
That was when we closed the door to my trailer.
Yeah, him and Jess looked at each other.
Not the
Jess
back door, the side door. So we were like, "Fuck this! I don't want that in my trailer."
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to smell all night.
And it does not smell good.
No, it does not.
So then Dalton does it, and Jeremy just squeezes the fuck out of it, and then he immediately goes and pukes in front of his car. Thought he puked on the McLaren. Legitimately thought he puked on the McLaren.
He thought he did, or you?
We all did.
Oh, okay.
So then him and Jeremy peed on it to clean it off, because that made it better. That was when a lot of us were kind of ready for the night to be over. We're just like, that's enough. That's our boil. We're done here.
Weird.
But of course, Formula 1 doesn't start till midnight, so we had to wait. But it was funny. Like, I don't know any of their names. Like, there was a bunch of people that were there, and I want to say this kid, but like he's probably comfortably in his 20s, but to me he's a kid.
Right.
Dang kids.
Kids.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. So, but he slaps the bag and then takes a pull on it, and like his reaction was just like perfect. He gets done, he's all happy, and you can feel like as it hits him, he's just like
instant regret.
Didn't throw up, but like had like
wow.
that perfect comical gag, just like
wow. So how many people slapped the bag?
like 7.
Really?
Like a bunch of people.
Oh my gosh.
Like everyone was doing it.
That's hilarious.
And but like at that point, we'd been on track all day. It'd been not a bad day, but it'd been a long day.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to quietly watch Formula 1, and that just wasn't going to happen.
No.
And then Jabay shows up with his Hawaiian shirt, and it's a fucking party. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I guess it's not a Hawaiian shirt, but
Oh God, Jabay and his shirt. Ryan bought a shirt and wore it to Not Proving Grounds. It's called Not Proving Grounds.
Not Proving Grounds.
It's Not Proving Grounds. And then Jabay apparently decided he needed one too. So
yeah, it's kind of like a Hawaiian shirt, but it's black and it's got like neon cut, like
just random shit.
Yeah, like a martini glass, like an umbrella.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like the background of an Atari video game cover.
It's a party shirt.
Yeah, it's kind of 80s looking.
It's a party shirt. So,
but yeah, so then
he's jacked.
Jabay?
Yeah,
he's been lifting.
You can tell.
Oh yeah, getting swole.
He's almost intimidating.
Almost.
I mean,
more intimidating.
There's nothing intimidating about him, but he's almost intimidating.
He can get a father voice out if he has
I'm
to,
sure he can.
If he has to.
I'm sure he can, but
yeah, so then Dalton rolls into the first session Sunday, throws down like 3 laps, and immediately loads his car onto the trailer.
And then left.
And then leaves without saying a fucking word
Without
to anybody.
saying anything to anyone, just drove
Dips.
home.
So before he lined up to get into grid, there's a fence between where we're at in the paddock and where the false grid is, and there's a porta potty like right next to that fence. Dalton rolls over, jumps in the porta potty. Dewey is on the other side of the porta potty with his car, and he like looks at him through the vents while he's in there peeing. He says, "So you're just gonna roll out there and do one session and then set the record and go home?" Dalton's like, "Yeah, I guess that's the plan." Dewey's like, "That's big dick shit right there."
He didn't set the record, but he podiumed, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
Wild. Fucking Dalton.
Jesus Christ. I don't know, man. Takes all kinds, I guess.
It does.
I do have to throw out there that he got beat by a Nissan, though.
Yeah. I don't know what Nissan beat him.
The Maroon 240.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that car looks sweet.
That guy
is from
needed
Texas.
he needed to borrow my Mark 60 talk to cable thing because his was having issues.
That car looks really good.
Fun fact, the Mark 60 that he installed was because of my article and me talking about it on the podcast, saying that if an idiot like me can do it, he can do it. So we did.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
Why do people with cars like that listen to garbage like this?
I don't know. Small world shit.
That looks like a really cool car.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came up to me and was just like, "Do you have that cable?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." Went and grabbed it. He's like, "Yeah, like I installed this because you talked about it." No shit.
So weird. Thank you, though.
Yeah. And then Abe said that article, the how-to guide or whatever, is the number 2 thing on their website consistently. The number 1 thing being Adam Jabay's opinion on harness bars.
Yeah. That's because it gets linked constantly. I send that to so many people.
Same.
That's awesome.
No.
Look at you, Robbie.
I did something.
Hashtag real journalism.
I did something that people appreciate.
Yeah. Fucking A.
But yeah, all in all, it was a super fun weekend. We brought a bunch of food. Adam Pacetto brought a bunch of food and grilled and cooked for everybody all weekend. Alex and Jason brought a bunch of food as well.
I legitimately gained 3 pounds.
That's not that much.
There was so much food because that was like Dusty. Like, can I bring anything? No, please, for the love of God, don't bring anything. There's so much food.
He begged me not to, so I just brought 2 big old bags of beaver nuggets.
Nice.
They're terrible.
Was it life-changing jerk chicken?
It was good.
I actually didn't get. I had the jerk chicken last year. I didn't get any of it this year, but
Adam really appreciates every time someone walks up and he's like, have the jerk chicken or the jerk pork, and I was like, it's spicy. And he's like, it's not that spicy. And like literally every time someone tried to, it's careful, it's spicy.
So my lasting memory of that chicken is last year my lips were chapped as hell, and I went over there and it was like 40 degrees and the wind blowing 30 miles an hour, and I bit into that and it just lit my lips on fire.
It hit harder last year for sure. And it's legitimately spicy. And he's married to a woman that's I don't know, somewhere in Asia is where she's from.
Some sort
but
of.
like their family eats food that like if it doesn't hurt, it's not spicy enough.
Right.
So his level of spiciness doesn't really match everyone else's. So he's like, it's not that spicy. It's pretty fucking spicy.
If Robbie says it's pretty fucking spicy, I don't even want to smell it.
It's at my limit of like enjoyment.
Right.
Anything beyond that's a bit excessive.
No, bro. I'll pass.
It's excellent. Don't get me wrong, but it is excellent. But yeah,
I'll
it was.
Just take your word for it.
You wouldn't enjoy it.
I will never try it.
But yeah, all in all, pretty awesome weekend. Yeah, Sunday we're all just kind of like, I'm just in an HPD, so let's just not. This is enough. I've gotten my money's worth. I'm ready to go home.
Good.
And take the car apart.
Great end to a mediocre season.
Not great season, no. Yeah, the only time the car worked great was when nothing was on the line. Like no competition.
Classic.
Well, I guess RPM was competition.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's just a time attack, right? That's not.
It's not racing, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
I got a trophy for it, so that counts. It doesn't really count, but whatever.
Everything else is just qualifying.
Yep. Oh well, maybe next year. Unless Gridlife goes to like all of the East Coast and all of the West Coast, then I won't do any of it.
Yeah, if all they do is pro tracks, then I guess we'll have to find a new.
Maybe I'll just tag along to supercar rallies from now on and be done with this racing bullshit.
Sell all the things.
Yep.
Buy a smaller house.
Yep.
Buy a supercar.
That's the long term plan. Once racing's not fun
what
anymore.
supercar is Robbie buying?
As a starter?
What's your starter supercar?
Nothing says you've made it like a 570 in front of a 1,500 square foot house.
There's that.
I feel like it's a
Lamborghini Gallardo is shockingly reasonably priced.
See, I feel
That's
like you're
just
buying
an Audi, though.
I feel like you're buying a Viper of not this gen, maybe a last gen Viper or a non ACR of the newest gen.
A Viper's always been on the list for sure.
I feel like you're a Viper guy to start.
I've never understood why Vipers were not as popular as Corvettes. Never understood it.
Price.
Barely. Like until you got to the new ACRs, the prices were hardly different.
Were they? Huh.
I mean, if you're willing to spend $60 for a Corvette, what's $70 for a Viper?
Yeah, I suppose. I just feel like you're a Viper guy.
Yeah.
The only other
I can't really disagree with that.
The only other thing I can see you doing is going off the deep end and building your own.
Yes.
That's the only other option, really, to start.
Yes.
Well, like an SLC or something?
Yeah, like you build an SLC or whatever it is that Factory 5 makes, or
like an Ultimate GTR.
Yeah, you just fucking
the ultimate GTR.
It's an Ultimate Evo now.
I would totally do that. Yeah.
That DDR5 thing that he wanted.
That
looked like a kind of like a knockoff F1.
Oh God, what is it called? Adam's got a work call.
No, it's my wife, which is a little bit scary.
That's never good.
No. She knows what I'm doing, and she's calling me, so that's probably not good.
Yep. It's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the GTM, there's one of those locally that I was really pleasantly surprised by how nicely finished out the interior was and everything on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so usually they're just kind of slapped together. But yeah, head into the off season. Got a list of things I want to fix and get ready for next year, and wait till the new rules come out and see how that changes. But yeah, try to optimize a little bit.
Cool.
But yeah,
just shut it down.
Yeah, this guy's got to take a phone call.
Now I'm a little bit worried.
Yep. All right, Dusty. Thanks for coming out this weekend since Adam refused to.
Thanks for shooting photos as always.
Yep.
We really appreciate it.
Yep, enjoyed it. And thanks to Adam for making me fatter.
Not this Adam.
Other Adam.
Adam Pacetto.
Yep.
Adam Pacetto, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
His
Yes,
pancakes are fucking amazing.
Yeah?
Great.
Oh, yeah. I had like 7 pancakes.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
You usually don't barely eat breakfast.
No, but I had 7 pancakes.
Jesus. So many pancakes.
They weren't that big though. They were
okay.
I mean they were like they weren't like 7 dinner plates. They were
right.
like teacups, like plates that goes below a teacup.
Yeah,
like 7 of those. But yes. But Dusty, thanks for coming. We'll see you at
PRI.
no.
We'll see you at PRI, Dusty.
No, we'll see you at Super Lab Battle.
Wheel? We? Did you say we?
I don't know.
I can't.
I'll see you at Festival next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Gridlife schedule will tighten up a little bit and be a little bit more in the middle of the country.
I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I do think that's what's going to happen. Slap bet right now, me and you.
I assume that you know something I don't. So
I don't know anything.
I'm not playing that.
I don't know anything.
Oh, so I do need to point out, too, that there were a lot of Texas license plates in that field this weekend. So
maybe there should be events closer to Texas,
there is a reason to have an event somewhere closer to Texas than that. Just saying.
Like Hallett.
Hell yeah, brah.
I would go out of my way for Hallett.
You don't have to.
I know.
It's within your 12-hour driving limit by a pretty good, decent margin.
And even if it wasn't, I'd still go to Hallett. Same with High Plains.
Yeah.
Gridlife Hallett would replace that event as the most chill Gridlife ever, guaranteed.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Just by nature of the location. So.
You can't take anything too seriously when the chicken song is playing.
Damn right.
It's so good.
I just want to see Jabez's face the first morning he's at Hallett and the chicken song is playing.
That's the perfect way to start the drivers meeting.
Yeah.
And sets the tone for the day. All right. Thanks again, Dusty.
Yep. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep. And we'll catch everybody else next week.